Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Cap Teaches You to Play Street Fighter, coming from Smash Brothers. I don't know how I'm gonna format this video just yet. I might do shut up, Ken. I might do multiple videos. I might do just one long video. I'm not sure yet. I'll see how I format it. But welcome to part one of the absolute basics of fighting games. I'm gonna go over pretty much everything from movement to cancels to links to kind of get you an idea of how fighting games work, and then we'll go into more Street Fighter 6 specific stuff. So let me get small. There we go. I have a little input viewer at the bottom so that you can see kind of what I'm doing in real time. There is also an in-game one, but it kind of gets in the way and it kind of clutters everything. So I'm going to disable that real quick. While we are in these settings, I want you to do a couple things. So I believe you either hit escape or tab if you're on a keyboard, or just plus on your controller if you are on a controller or leverless, whatever you're on. Go to first, we're going to go to dummy settings, and we're going to do block after first hit here on the block settings. This will basically make it so that after the first hit, the CPU will start blocking. I don't want you learning fake combos thinking that they're real, so definitely have that on for pretty much forever. And then the second thing that we're going to do is in the second to last tab here, we're going to have frame meter on, and then you can kind of have these as optional things if you want to have a little virtual controller, if you want to have the cancel timing of moves, then you can do that. I'll have it on just in case you are using it. It's kind of helpful to know when you can push your button or when you can interrupt it. And that's going to be it for setting up. So let's go over movement first. Movement. Left and right. Boom. You know how to walk. So holding a direction, you'll walk. There's a couple ways you can approach your opponent. You can just walk. You can do little forward dashes like this. These are a bit more committal, but they're still useful. And then you also have, obviously, jumps. This isn't like in Smash where you can do a forward jump and then kind of fade back. Once you are in a jump, you are locked into that arch. So jumps in this game are a lot more committal. They're not the focus of this game, but they are still useful to open up your opponent. I have some notes on the side here to remember what I'm going to talk about. So kind of imagine this game as like an eight direction game. So you've got forward, back, down, up, and then you've got your diagonals of down, back, down, forward, up, back, up, forward. And when I'm going to be talking about forward or any sort of motion inputs, stuff like that, I'm assuming that the character is facing the right. So kind of you're in player one spot. You can kind of imagine it like that. So let's go over attacks first. So Street Fighter 6 is a 6-button game. That means that you have 6 different buttons that you can push to do an attack. So we have light jab, light kick, medium or light punch, light kick, medium punch, medium kick, heavy punch, heavy kick. And then you can do different directions. So this is my just regular standing light jab, and then this is crouching light jab. You've got your medium crouch medium punch. You've got sweep, crouch medium kick, play around with these buttons, see what they do. If you want an actual list of everything, you can go to the first tab here in command list, and you'll see all of your attacks here. You have special moves, your super arts, and then kind of most importantly from character to character is unique attacks. This just shows you all the unique like just normal attacks that you can do. Unique normal attack, that sounds weird, but anyway, you could do different directions plus a button, and then you'll get different results, and they all kind of have different properties, so I'll go over that in a bit. Let's do specials. So specials in this game are a bit different from Smash. You're not going to do them with like a direction plus a special move or a special button. You can do that if you want to play on Modern. There's a couple downsides to playing on Modern, but if it's really something that you can't wrap your head around classic controls, then you can always try Modern. But for my own sake and for your sake, I'm going to be teaching you with classic controls. Shut up, Ken. So let's go over specials. Specials in this game are performed, at least if you're on classic controls, they're performed with motions. So doing a kind of, you can imagine it with, let me actually pull up the virtual controller here, just so you can see kind of better representation of, like, if you're on a, what would you call it? Just a normal controller, rather than like a keyboard or leverless. So say I want to do a fireball in this game, you'll want to do, it's kind of character to character, but basically it's going to be down, down, forward, forward, at least for Ryu. And then if I do that plus a button, I'll get the fireball. You still have to do it, you know, with, there's still some timing to it, but it's pretty lenient. And then, you know, you could do a different direction or a different motion plus a different button. Quarter circle back will be Hashogeki. Quarter circle forward will be your Hadouken. Quarter circle back plus kick will be Tatsumaki. Again, just if you want a more comprehensive list, just go to the command list and then look at your special moves. You can also sort by modern if you do like this. But again, I'm going to be going over classic. So, you know how to attack, you know how to do specials. Let's go over button combinations in this game. So this is specifically for Street Fighter. It might be the same for other fighting games, but again, you're just focusing on Street Fighter right now. So for grabs, you're going to want to do both of your light buttons together, like this. This is your grab. You could do a forward grab. That's just, or I guess neutral grab. Or you could do back plus grab. You could do down back plus grab. You could do back plus grab. But yeah, that's how you do your grab. If you do both of your mediums together, you will get a parry. We're going to talk a lot about that in a later part, but this is your parry animation. And then if you do both heavy buttons together, you get the big flashy drive impact. Now, one little piece of advice for the future that I would give is to have these buttons set to a different button. So if you go into the control settings, you can see there's actually like macros, basically. So I like to have each of these buttons kind of assigned to a specific button, and that just makes things easier for reacting. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Boop, boop, boop. So it'll just be easier for the future. You can obviously still, like, you can see here, I had one frame where I did light kick and then I did the light punch, and it still gave me grab. Let me try to replicate it. There you go. You can kind of, there's some leniency. It's at least 1 frame, but you generally just want to have a specific button so that you don't miss input. Excuse me. Alright, so I taught you how to do motion inputs. Let's go over links in this game, or links in fighting games. So a link is basically when you hit a button, see at the bottom here how it says it's 6 frame startup, and then it also has 7 frames of advantage on hit. So when I hit Ken with a medium punch here, it is, I have 7 frames of advantage. That basically means that anything that is 7 frames or faster can connect. So let's say I get, my light kick here is 5 frame startup, so this connects. And you can see on the side here, it also has a little combo counter. It's kind of obstructed by, you can see it right there. But that's a link. And this is actually where the block after first hit, just a little reminder to put block after first hit so that you can lab these. But basically, anything that's, let's say you hit a button, just look at the advantage and be like, okay, this is +4, which means I can do a crouch jab. Like that. More important, it's going to be more important for things like mediums and heavies. Say I get a heavy punch here, I can see that that's +4. And then you can kind of experiment, just, you already have a pretty basic understanding just from that. You could do a little combo like this. So you're basically implementing a link, which is this, into a cancel, so like that. Let me go over cancels real quick, because I do know some people have trouble with cancels. So let me give you a very basic example of a combo. Let's say I want to hit Ken with a low crouching medium kick, and I want to connect it into a fireball. So here's what it looks like for reference, like this. Now, you might think, okay, I have to do down plus my medium kick, and then I have to do a quarter circle forward plus punch. So you might try to do something like this. Kind of overcomplicating things, but you get the idea. Now, fighting games are aware of this, and they design it so that you can just hold down like this, and then do a very simple motion of just quarter circle forward. So while you're hitting, while I'm hitting this crouch medium kick, I'm basically never letting go of, I'm transitioning from the down to down forward position with my stick. So hopefully that makes sense, but kind of just pay attention mostly to the motions that motion that I'm doing here on the virtual controller. You can see I'm not actually doing another down input, I'm just maintaining the down input and then doing a quarter circle forward. So if you're having trouble with like combo trials, or you're having trouble executing it, just know that there's some shortcuts in this game, and if you're having trouble, you can always just, you know, leave a comment, or if you know me, you can DM me, I guess. And then I'll try to help you with your combo. But that's a basic gist of it. So those are cancels, those are links, you got motion inputs, and then let me also just go over one last thing, which is numpad notation. So numpad notation is kind of just a thing that the fighting game community has come up with just as a way to kind of explain combos. So basically, think of numpad notation as literally on your keyboard or like on a phone, like dialing the numbers of a a number, basically. So if you look at a numpad, it's basically... Let me actually get an image real quick of numpad notation. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So you can kind of imagine... so let's look at this part here of just... I'm trying to think of how to fucking do this. But you can kind of see how the different directions are assigned a number. So say I want to do a fireball motion. So let me crop this just so I have this. I'll put it right next to here. This part isn't as important, but it's just, I figured it would be good to know. So imagine I want to do a quarter circle forward into a punch, so fireball motion. The way that would be translated is 2, 3, 6, and then a punch button. So when you see people say 2, 3, 6, punch, you can kind of imagine that button as down, down, forward, forward. It's just basically an easier way of saying quarter circle forward, down, down, forward, forward. Just makes things easier. 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 6 P. 2, 3, 6 punch. So if you're looking at like combos online, they might use this way of notating combos. In practice, you can see tutorials, character guides, combo trials. I'd recommend just going through them. Can't hurt. They might have some things that I'm forgetting. Character guides, pretty self-explanatory. It'll tell you kind of everything you need to know about your character. But I think the most practical is going to be combo trials. And just, it's more hands-on. You get to do things, and it's not as hand-holdy. So let's go over some... Actually, let me do something real quick. Before you even start combo trials, I want you to go into the settings. So hit tab on your keyboard or plus on your controller. Go to options, interface, and go to button icon settings. And I really, really recommend you do show attack button icons. I believe it's show input icons by default. But I'd really prefer if you have attack button icons. Basically, that just means that when you are doing any of these combo trials, or you're doing like looking at the your move list, it'll show the attack icon instead of like B or a letter on your keyboard that it's the attack is assigned to. And it just makes things easier to communicate. So say I get, say we're talking about, you know, Ryu's medium punch. I don't know what button medium punch is assigned to on your controller. So it's easier if you just say medium punch rather than, oh, it's my B button, because I don't know what your B button does. Anyway, that's something that I think you should do. Let's go over, let's just do some quick little combo trials. I want to see if there's maybe something I'm forgetting. Something about these combo trials is that they're not necessarily good combos to do. More so just they give you an idea of how all of these moves interact with each other. And I'd really recommend you just kind of lab your own stuff. There are some takeaways from these combo trials. Like, not all of these are bad, but, you know, some of these combos are terrible. Or there's, like, more you can do to a combo. Anyway, play around with combo trials, see if there's anything fancy you can come up with in training mode, and I will head over to part 2. Alright, welcome to part 2 of Cap Teaches You How to Play Street Fighter 6. Let's go over the system mechanics of this game. So we will talk about the drive meter, super meter, as well as just blocking and other stuff that I might have forgotten about in the basics part. Let's talk about first the drive meter. So at the top here you can see there's a green bar for both opponents. You have 6 of these green bars, but you can kind of think of it as just one big continuous bar. The little slashes here are just kind of like to get an idea of how much you're using. So, this bar is very important to your game plan. There's a lot of things that happen, or a lot of moves that use this bar. So let's talk about first your, earlier we were talking about parry. So that's your medium punch plus your medium kick, or both medium buttons at the same time. So when you do parry, you can see at the top here, it's slowly draining my drive bar. We'll call it drive bar for now. Now, let's see, there's a couple things you can do when you're parrying. Obviously there is perfect parrying. The whole game will kind of slow down when you, when you successfully perfect parry. So let me get an example here real quick. Let's try to get these big slow-mo that I like. So there's the perfect parry animation. One thing to know about when you get a perfect parry is that it will heavily reduce the amount of damage that you get, so kind of use it sparingly, or at least be aware of that. Anyway, let's move on to your super meter. Super meter is at the bottom here. By default, it's going to be at 0 when you start the match. And the way you get super is just by attacking your opponent. Let's set... I messed up my combo. But you can kind of see it's slowly over time building. You have 3 different types of supers. You have a level 1, level 2, and a level 3. Your level 1, again, the input for it depends, so go to your command list, and then go to super arts, and then you can see all of the supers that you have. Kind of as a rule of thumb, you can kind of view your level 1 as an invincible reversal, your level 2 as a tricky like setup kind of thing, and your level 3 as the big damage dump type of move. So level 1s are most of the time invincible. You can actually see at the bottom here where the little squares are. You can see it's actually like a red and white color here. That just means it's completely invincible. So that means you can't, on startup, you cannot throw it or you can't strike. So let's say I get Cammy to do a button when I hit her. So let's do the same one as before. Usually that would hit me, and you can even see it says counter hit just because she was about to hit me and I was invincible, so that type of thing. Again, every super is different, so some level 1s aren't invincible. Just depends on the character. Your level 2, every character has a different level 2. Every character has different supers. Jury's, for example, she's able to cancel all of her normals into other normals, so that can lead to like really big combos for her. And pretty much level 3, all of them are the same with very minor differences. The only real difference you'll have is maybe the amount of time or the amount of advantage you have afterwards. So say after Jury's level 3, it is plus 22. That might be different for other characters. I know, for example, for Marissa, she has a specific thing where her level 3 will send you to the corner no matter what. So I'm not going to demonstrate it, but you get the idea. Every character kind of has different uses for their supers, and level 3 is kind of the exception, where it just is universally your big damage ender, or combo ender with big damage. Let's go over blocking, because I did not talk about that in the absolute basics. The way you block in this game, and in pretty much every fighting game, is holding back. Just holding back. There's two different ways of blocking. There's just holding back, and then there's crouch blocking. Main difference being that when you're holding back, you can walk back. And then when you're holding down back, you're crouching, but you're still in a blocking position. Or blocking state. So let's do... You can see she's hitting me, I'm hitting her. We're both holding back. And same thing with holding down back. Now you might be like, what's the difference? Why wouldn't I always want to be holding back for, you know, why wouldn't I always want to be moving, right? And the reason is because of how every fighting game works, of just highs and lows, or high, low, mid. So what I'm talking about here is specifically how certain moves work. So say I hit Cammy with a stand medium punch. You can see at the top here it says that this attack type is high. That just means that you can block it holding back or holding down back. Now if I do her crouch medium kick, you can see this is a low now, or it says low. And basically what that means is if I were to be holding, either not blocking or holding back, then I get clipped by the low. So let's get an example of that. Let's say I'm going to make Cammy do a crouching medium kick, and then I'm going to be holding back. So you can see I'm holding back, which should be blocking, but because I'm not doing a crouch block, I'm getting clipped by the stand or a crouch medium kick. And the way to avoid that is just holding down back. Like that. Now what I would recommend is to pretty much always be doing down back. Reason being that there's not that many characters in this game that have, like, I shouldn't say that. I guess it's more rare to have an overhead type of move. So overheads and jump-ins are specifically designed to counter down back. So here I have Cammy set to crouch block only. And basically, let's do block all. So you can see I'm trying to jab her. I'm trying to do a low hitting move. But if I do this move is specifically designed to be an overhead, or you can think of it as a high. Some games call it different things, but basically you can think of an overhead or a jump in as specifically hitting opponents that are doing down back or holding down back. And as the name implies, jump in. That means you can also hit your opponent while in the air. So if they're holding down back, you can do an aerial into... yeah, you can do an aerial and it'll hit people holding down back. What else can I talk about? So let's go back to the drive meter in this game. So again, it's the 6 bars that you see at the top here. You can enhance your special moves. Let me get Cammy to not do that. You can actually enhance your special moves. So I'm actually going to go back to Ryu for this example. Say I want to do an enhanced version of my fireball. So fireball, it's fine, but I want it to do more, right? Or I want it to have more combo potential. I can do the direction or the motion input plus 2 of that same button to have an OD version. So when I say two of the same button, I mean two of the same like category, I guess you could call it. But imagine you're doing two different punch buttons at the same time. I'm doing for this example, I'm using crouch, light punch, I'm using light punch and medium punch for this example. So when I do my motion input, I'm doing basically the same thing I would do for a regular fireball, but I'm pushing two buttons instead. And there's a couple reasons why you would want to use OD moves. They do more damage, they have more combo potential, anyway. But to use these, you basically do the motion input plus two of that same button, and it works for all of your specials. Now, one thing to note is that whenever you do an OD move, it's going to cost 2 bars of drive. So keep that in mind. 2 bars of drive whenever you're doing your OD specials. And that's important because this recovers very slowly. Unless you're actively approaching your opponent or you're hitting them. Say I get that little combo right there, you can see it kind of, it's very slowly going up. And if I hit my opponent or I'm walking forward, it increases a lot faster. Now here's the thing. What happens when you run out of meter? Well, now you're in burnout. Burnout is really fucking bad. You don't want to be in burnout, like, pretty much ever. What happens when you're in burnout? Basically, you no longer have access to OD moves. You still have access to your specials. You just can't do OD moves. And you also don't have access to parry. Parry is really important. You want to be able to use parry and its follow-up drive rush. And we'll talk more about drive rush in a bit. So, when you're in burnout, there's a couple things that happen. Oh, how do I... So, first of all, you're in a lot more block stun on block. So, say I were to do... say I hit Cammy with a crutch light punch. This is +3 on burnout, when usually it is -1. So, say she has 6 bars, I hit her with a stand medium punch. This is -1 on block, so that means that Cammy has advantage. Whereas if I were to put her in burnout, now that move is +3. So it's actually adding 4 extra frames of advantage to pretty much every move. Let's say, for example, I use stand heavy punch. This move is usually -2 on block. In burnout, it's +2. So it's literally adding 4 extra frames of advantage for you. Really, really bad if you are in burnout. Try to avoid it. Alright. Now, parry is cool, but apart from doing less damage when you get a perfect parry, why even use it? Well, that's because you get access to this game's quote-unquote neutral skip, drive rush, this move. You turn green, and you rush at your opponent. And this move is really good. Every character has it. Every character has a different type of drive rush. Some are slow, some are fast, some go across the full screen, some go barely across the half the screen. Kind of just depends on the character. But it's basically just a way to approach at your opponent and push a button. Now, the reason this is good is, again, we're going to look at frame data. So, stand medium punch. This thing is -1 on block. Now, if I incorporate a drive rush, it is +3, also adding an extra 4 frames of advantage. So this is good because, you know, you can threaten your opponent with a grab, you can threaten them with another button. It's just good to have advantage in this game. It's a lot different from Smash, where you can be, you know, -15 and that's like considered, I don't actually know if that's considered safe in Smash, but it's a lot different from Smash where frame data is still important, but you don't have to memorize things, right? And I'm not telling you to memorize that all of your buttons on block. Just know which ones are safe on block, which ones are minus, or which ones will get you punished on block. So let me actually go over that real quick. How to know if something is punishable on block. The entire cast in this game, the fastest button in this game is 4 frame startup. So every character has 4 frames, 4 frame in this game. It's just universally you have a 4 frame. So basically what that means is as long as you are -3, that is considered safe. So say I do this move, this is actually -4 on block. So if I were to get Cammy to do a light punch, which is her 4 frame, I actually get punish countered. And then she can get a fat combo. You can see she's also +9. She can link into other moves. So when you're at point blank like this, probably not good. You know, obviously same as Smash, you can space your moves to be safe. But if you're point blank, you will get punished. Kind of keep that in mind. Same thing here. Usually I am -2 if I do my heavy punch on Cammy here, but so if I were to try to intercept, or if I were to try to mash like my 4 frame, then I get counter hit because I'm -2. She's using her 4 frame. I'm trying to use my 4 frame, but because she has advantage, she wins the interaction. Now, if I were to do a move where I am plus on block, so let's say I do, let's say I enhance my heavy punch with a drive rush. Now now that I have advantage, I can actually press and not have to worry about getting hit. There's obviously ways that Cammy can intercept this, but that's just a basic interaction in this game. And here's another thing. You can cancel any move, any special cancelable move. So the way to know that is if you go on the, let's go to the settings real quick and go to the second to last page here. Let's turn on cancel timing display. Now when this is off, it just looks like the normal game, but with this on, you can actually see whenever I hit my opponent, whether it's on hit or on block, I turn red or I turn blue. Now this is really good because if you're red, then that means you can cancel into a special. So basically imagine a drive rush cancel as another special. The way you input a drive rush is a bit different. There's a couple different ways. You can tap parry like this and then do forward like this. Or you can do forward and then at the same time as the last forward input, you press parry. So I messed it up there. But you can see there's like a little bit of leniency, but it's a bit of a faster way of using your drive rush. There is also another way to input drive rushes, and that is during a combo. So when you're using it in a combo, don't do that, Cammy. When you're using it in a combo, you can cancel, you can drive rush cancel, and the way to do that is just either by, there's 2 different ways. You can either just hit your parry button. So you can see I'm not even doing a forward input, I'm just doing like that. And then the second way is to do a forward input. So when you do forward, you basically just cancel into a drive rush. You don't have to do like forward plus parry, or you don't have to do parry plus forward. You just do one or the other. And then that opens up a lot of different combo extensions, opportunities, whatever. Now, one thing that is really important about drive rush cancels and drive rushes is there's a very big difference in drive gauge. So I want you to look at the top here, and I'll tell you first. I'm going to do a normal drive rush, and that's going to cost 1 bar. So you can see just a normal drive rush costs 1 bar of drive gauge. But if I were to do a cancel, that costs 3 bars. So it's very important that you just keep track of how much drive gauge you have. Because let's say I'm at 2 bars of drive gauge. Now suddenly going for a drive rush cancel is actually kind of risky, because now I'm going to be burnt out. And I might lose the round because of it. So just be wary of only use drive rush cancels when you're either at when you're just over a little bit over 3 bars of gauge. I would recommend just kind of only using it when you have like 6, 5, or 4 bars of drive, just so that you definitely do not go into burnout. But just be aware of that. There's a little bit. I also want to go over just kind of the difference between inputs for a drive rush. So as I was saying, there's 2 different ways of inputting drive rush. There's the parry plus tap forward twice, and then there's the tap forward twice plus parry. And there's not really too much of a difference. The only thing is that it's kind of more just like how quick are you with your inputs. And if you're not quick with your inputs, then you might prefer to do one over the other. So let's say I'm doing the parry version, and then I do forward. Usually a drive rush only costs 1 bar of drive gauge. And if you're trying to go for just a raw drive rush, or like this, let's see. Notice how this 5th bar here is actually kind of grayed out. And when it's kind of like neon like this, that means it's a full bar of drive gauge. So if I were to do parry plus forward, I end up kind of using a little bit over 1 bar of drive. And this can be really bad if you're like at 1 bar of drive gauge, because you might end up accidentally burning yourself out like that. Whereas if you do forward plus parry, you're consistently using only 1 bar of drive. So that's how I personally input drive rush. Like if I just were to do it raw and neutral like that, I would always use forward plus drive parry. But there is also one useful benefit to just holding parry like this. Say your opponent is just chucking fireballs here. Just imagine if Cammy had a fireball. Just chucking fireballs. Maybe you're a bit low. Maybe let's say you're like at 3 bars of drive gauge. If you're holding parry and the opponent is just chucking fireballs at you, you actually get drive gauge back. So you can see when you parry something, you actually do get drive back. So you can kind of think of the scenario I'm talking about where the opponent is just chucking fireballs. Let's say they're just chucking fireballs. You could just parry like this, and then when they stop, you just go in with a drive rush like that. Obviously, just be careful with that game plan. Don't make that your sole game plan. We'll talk more about game plans later. But those are kind of like the 2 differences between drive rush inputs. Let me take a look at my notes real quick. Actually, let me go over combos as well real quick, since I guess that is part of the system mechanics, or specifically air combos. Air combos in this game are the only thing I genuinely do not like about this game. I think air combos are kind of weird to understand. It's a bit strange, but let's say, let me actually give you an example with a combo I was trying to lab a day ago with a friend of mine. So I'm gonna do Ed's level 2 combo. So say I get a combo like this. So notice how this special does not actually connect. That's because in Street Fighter, there is a hidden value system for air combos. So depending on what moves you use, there's like a little number or little counter in the game that is keeping track of it. It has like different priority, I guess. You could imagine it that way. Certain moves, like let's say this move has a number 1, and then when I do this button to when I do this heavy kind of whip move, that has a value of 2. Kind of just, that's not actually how it works, but you just, for the example, think of it that way. So when I use it early in a combo like this, it works, but for some reason when I use it like this, in like a longer air combo, now you can see it completely whiffs. It doesn't do the juggle it doesn't juggle anymore. So when you're researching air combos specifically, I would just recommend copying someone else's. Just look up character plus air combos or something, or combos, and just follow what the other person was doing, because it's very unintuitive, and it took me a very long time to even somewhat understand how air combos work in this game. I still don't really, but I'll link a video in the description from, I believe, Broski. He basically explains a lot more in detail how this game's juggle system works. But when you're practicing combos, just focus on doing grounded stuff first. Alright, that's it for part 2, I believe. Alright, so welcome to part 3 of Cap Teaches You How to Play Street Fighter 6, coming from Smash. This part of the video is going to be a little bit more rambly, but I'm going to kind of give you a general idea of what your game plan could or should be. Depends on whether or not you actually want to follow the game plan. If you think it's boring, feel free to do your own thing. But I'm going to give you just basically my thoughts on what your game plan should be, or could be, if I started playing this character. So, first archetype of characters, I guess, would be the Shoto category of fighters. So, this is the super basic game plan of just chucking fireballs, keeping your opponent kind of at a mid-range, and then whenever they jump, you just anti-air them with a Dragon Punch. Now, here's a little shortcut if you're struggling to actually input this move. At least for people on keyboard and leverless, this is the easiest way. If you hold forward and then tap down, and then keep holding forward, you will get a Dragon Punch input pretty consistently. And I didn't know this for a while just because I don't play that many characters with a Dragon Punch input, or a DP input as it's called. But this is really easy. Kind of just take a look at the input history here. I'm just doing forward and then down, letting go, and then on the next forward frame I press the punch button, so like that. There's just a little shortcut. It makes it easier than, you know, doing the 6-2-3 input and then potentially messing it up. Sometimes I mess it up even on leverless, so having this little input, this little shortcut is really useful, and it makes anti-airing a lot faster. It is still possible on like on pad controller, like PS5 controller, and arcade stick, but it's especially useful for a leverless button setup like this. Right, so going back to the game plan portion, so Again, just chucking fireballs kind of at this range, letting them approach you, and then doing a Dragon Punch input when they jump. This obviously isn't like a profound, deep game plan that'll work all the way until Plat 5 or Diamond or Master, but it's enough to get you a pretty basic idea of, you know, how people react to Fireball, how people react to jump-ins, and then obviously you can go a bit even further with this game plan. So say you actually want to do combos now, your best move is probably going to be down forward or down medium kick. So it catches a lot of people just walking back and forth like this, and then you could do something basic like a fireball. What a lot of people like to do, and this goes all the way until like master rank, is to do a drive rush cancel into probably a medium. But this gets you just a lot of corner carry, like this. Let me actually set the bar to 6. But it gets you some good corner carry. Obviously, you know, look at your character's options off of a drive rush cancel. Keep in mind the cost of it as well. What can you do afterwards? But if you're a Shoto, you probably have a cancelable down medium kick. And again, I would recommend that you have the cancel timing display on, because it'll show you if you're glowing red, then that means you can cancel into a special, as well as a super. So you can cancel into a drive rush, you can cancel into a special, and you can cancel into a super. Also, there is a specific type of move, or I guess a specific glow, which would be, let's see, does Ryu have any... Oh, okay, so his forward heavy kick actually makes him blue like this. I don't know actually if it's specifically for... It might be because, like, because I know he can do this combo here. I think the blue might indicate that it's only specific moves. Not sure. I'm not exactly sure, but good thing to keep in mind is just if you're red, you can cancel it. Anyway, so that's a pretty basic game plan. I'll go a bit more in depth actually with your game plan. So, say you get tired of chucking fireballs and doing dragon punches. You want to actually get in the opponent's face and hit them. I get that. So, again, this is where I would recommend you go into the lab and just check out, hey, how plus is this move? How plus is this move? What can I connect into this move? What can I link? What can I cancel? Just get like a very basic, just button into special. Something preferably with like a medium, since they're kind of the middle ground of like a low commitment button mixed with a high damage button. So they're kind of just the perfect middle ground of just good damage and good safety. Because you can see also on block, this is only -1. So if you, if someone blocks it, then you're not completely punishable. Whereas if I do this, or if I do this move is like -4, so -4 on block. I'm trying to think if maybe I should give better advice. I mean, I want to give good advice, but I'm trying to think of things to come up with. This move, a lot of characters have this type of move where it's just a good little poke option, and it gets people to whiff buttons, so Say someone whiffs a button, you can punish it with this, and then potentially into, like, a... I don't know. You can get something off of this. So say you get, like, a punish counter here, you can cancel it into... Or you can link it into a crouch medium kick into a drive rush cancel. It's just a good little poke. Even if it doesn't lead to anything, it's just good to have. Something I want... Actually, I'm going to put this at the beginning of the video. Something I do want kind of every character or everyone to practice is hit confirms. So what I mean by hit confirms is this. I'm going to set to the dummy to block randomly. And that basically is going to make it so that it randomly switches between getting hit and blocking. And what I want people to do, because I see this a lot in lower level play, is people will actually get the hit and then not really know what to do afterwards. So when this happens, I want people to actually understand when are you blocking, or when is the opponent blocking and when is the opponent getting hit. And being able to react to that is pretty crucial. So say you get like a jump in like this, you want to actually be able to convert off of it, and you want to be able to get big damage. So what I want you to do is find a combo, or actually, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do a chain jabs like this. Do 3 jabs. Let me actually see. Actually do... I want you to do 2 jabs. No, I want you to do 3 jabs. I want you to do 3 jabs. And then if it doesn't connect, or if you see the opponent block on... basically, I just want you to test your reactions. Let's see. How can I word this better? So what I want you to do is set the CPU to, let's see, random block, like this. So the CPU will now block randomly. It'll randomly switch between blocking and getting hit. And what I want you to do is basically chain crouch jabs like this, and just react to getting the hit. And then after the 3rd jab, do something like a very low commitment fast special move. So for Ryu, I can do light Hashogeki, I can do light Tatsu, but I just want you to like get comfortable with like hitting your opponent. And what I like to do also is just only go for the cancel if it hits on the 1st or 2nd hit. Because sometimes it will hit on like the, it'll hit on the 2nd, or it'll hit on the 3rd one. I don't really need you to actually, you know, have godlike reaction skills like Punk to God and, you know, be able to convert off of like even the tiniest of hits. Just react to like the 1st and 2nd hit and see if you can get a combo off that. So I'll try to get an example where I get the 2nd hit here. See, there he could have blocked and then just absolutely destroyed me. So that's an example of what not to do, is just jab into a special, because you'll get punished. Like that. I want you to just react to getting the 1st or 2nd hit, and then getting something, just a little combo like this. It doesn't have to be big. But this will get you so far, because a lot of people just, they don't, they don't convert off of their openings. They don't actually, they find an opening like this, and then they don't do anything with it. I want you to do something like that. So that's going to go for every character. Let's see. I think next I will talk about, actually before I do that, so the Fireball plus, or the Fireball and Dragon Punch, you know, game plan of just chucking fireballs, and then when they jump, you do your flash kick or you do your uppercut, whatever. That works best with Guile, because he's kind of just designed to be this character. He's kind of designed to be the Fireball plus Dragon Punch when they jump type of character. So something, if you're playing Guile or if you're playing any sort of charge character, you might think, oh, it's kind of difficult to do, you know, my charge input, but I also kind of want to do my DP input, or I want to do my air invincible option here. But it's kind of hard to commit to like one or the other. Well, this character is designed to hold down back. So when you're holding down back, you are charging both your anti-air option, but you're also charging your fireball. So when you're at a distance like this, you can chuck your fireballs, but then you can also do your flash kick on command. So if you're having trouble, if you were having trouble with kind of making a decision between fireball or anti-air, holding down back is going to help a lot with just covering both options. Yeah, and then again, I would recommend going and looking at the character tutorials that are in the game, just for a more in-depth, or I guess a beginner understanding to your character and what they can do at every range. Next, I think I will talk about kind of like a specific type of game plan of people, characters that want to specifically put you in burnout and then convert or pressure you in burnout. So this is JP. Fucked up character. You'll learn. But this character thrives on, his game plan is basically get you in burnout and then just do this. Keep you at a distance. Basically just a mix of his fireball plus his spike plus his thing there. I forget what it's called, but yeah. This is the ultimate. If you want to play a zoner, this is the guy to play. This guy is fucking annoying to play against. They all combo into each other. Whatever. Basically, if you're playing JP, you want to be as far away from your opponent as possible, and you want to be chucking projectiles. And really, when they're in burnout, really push the advantage. They're gonna be scared. They're gonna try to jump. Try to just stay on the ground, anti-air with crouch, heavy punch. This is a really good anti-air. And then if you are scared, if they get close to you and you're in the corner, you have one of the best reversals in the game, which is down kick. Specifically the OD version, which costs 2 bars. Let's see if I can get Blanca to hit me while this happens. Okay. So when this connects, you get basically free pressure. You get a free combo, you get a free side switch. This is a really good move to have, and I don't know if Ingrid's is the same, but it's something like this. And you can get a combo off of it. So, say I do this. That's not the combo. Yeah, so you can get a you get the idea of there's a combo there. How do I actually? But yeah, this move is really good. OD Amnesia is a really good move. And you can combo off of it. I'd recommend doing this button if you are going to play JP and you are going to do like back throw or just get combos like this. This move is really good. It's really good for poking. It's really good for whiff punishing. It's just, it does everything. Yeah. Anyway. Blanka is also kind of similar in that he wants to get you into burnout, except he's a lot more interactive. So if you wanted to play like a character that thrives on a character or your opponent being burnt out, Blanka is really good at doing that. He's good at just keeping your opponent in burnout and then getting big combos when you get a stun. Anyway, let's look at some more characters. For this example, I'm going to go with, let's see. Now, let's look at Cammy and Chun-Li. These are kind of two characters I would recommend if you want kind of like fast, whiff punish type of character where you want your opponent to move first and then punish them with a move afterwards. They're also just very mobile in the air. Cammy has her airstrike, and she's also just really good at just getting a lot of openings and converting off of them. She's very much like a fundies character. So if you want like a character that will thrive off of just you outplaying the person, no gimmicks type of thing, Cammy is definitely that type of character. You just want to be kind of in this range here, and then anything they throw out, you could just you can punish it with I'd recommend probably crouch medium punch, like, or crouch medium kick. And it's kind of the same with the Shotos, where you just want to be able to, or you want to be canceling your crouch medium kick into a driver's cancel. So she's also a character that thrives off of meaties. So a meaty is when you hit the opponent at like on the very last frame of the active recovery. So what does that mean? That means instead of hitting the opponent, so let's look at this little square here. Instead of hitting the opponent here, you're hitting the opponent on this frame. So that basically just makes it even more plus on hit. So usually it's, let's see, +6 on hit. And then on block, or when it's meaty, it's good. When it's meaty, it's +9. So you can see going from +6 to +9, all because you just timed the button. This isn't a very good example of a meaty. Like, it's not one that I would use in game, but it's just to give you an idea of what a meaty can actually do. So after a forward dash, or let's see, after spiral arrow, I do a forward dash, and then I'm +8. This, so that means it hits on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It hits actually on this frame specifically. It's not hitting on the very last active frame, but it's hitting on the second to last active frame. That's basically just moving the hit stun kind of forward a bit, if you can imagine that. So with this setup, you can get a +9 meaty medium punch, when usually it's +6. So that means, okay, what can you get with a +9 meaty jab, or a meaty medium kick, a medium punch? That means you could get a heavy punch. Yeah, you get a heavy punch like this. That wasn't a combo. Alright. But you can see she just heavily relies on these types of setups where you're kind of just playing in the mid-range like this, playing outside of your opponent's threat range, and then punishing them accordingly, and also shimmying. If you want to feel like you're absolutely outplaying your opponent, say like after a oh, hello friend. Say after a after you send them to the ground, they try to tech a throw. So let's say that this happens, right? You want to avoid this situation happening because now you're letting the opponent get away from the corner, and you usually just want to keep them there if you're Cammy. You want to keep them there if you're any character, but especially as Cammy, you really thrive in this position. So say after a throw, I do this, and then I try specifically to do a shimmy. So shimmying is just holding back when your opponent is going to like push a button or throw. So you can get pretty big combos if you shimmy your opponent. And this is basically just the idea of Cammy, is you're getting big combos. That's also another example of a... Actually, let me try to find a meaty setup, or the specific meaty setup that I'm talking about with Cammy. Yeah, so this is the meaty setup that you'll see pretty much every Cammy do. So you can see it's kind of hard to tell. There's a bunch of colors and a bunch of numbers here. But what I want you to look at is this top row here. You can see it says 9, 4, 15. This is her crouching heavy punch. This is a good button by itself. It's +7, which means it will connect into stuff like this. Or it'll connect into her crouch medium punch. It'll connect into it'll connect into a lot of things. But if you do heavy spiral arrow after this combo, or you just end a combo with heavy spiral arrow, you could do a forward dash, and then right after your forward dash, you do crouch medium punch, and then if this is if this hits, oh wait, suddenly your move is now +9. What's +9? Oh, you can use actually you can use this move. You can use a heavy punch and then get the target combo into a combo. So she really thrives on meaty setups. We'll also look at how minus this is on block. So you can see Chun-Li is now blocking. This is +1 on block. That means I have advantage. So if Chun-Li were to press her 4-frame at the same time that I press my 4-frame, I actually have advantage since, so let's see. Let me get block, reversal, light punch. You can see I'm actually beating out her 4-frame because I'm doing mine when I have advantage. But now let's say I do the meaty setup here where it ends up being even more plus on block. Now I am +3. +3 is really good in general. It means you can set up a strike throw situation, which is just, it's a 50-50 of just, or it's the idea of a 50-50 of like, am I going to press a button or am I going to grab? If you try to grab, I will beat out your grab with a punch. And if... I'm not explaining it well. I'm not explaining how to do that, but I'm not explaining that concept just yet. Mostly because I can't formulate coherent sentences. But yeah, play Cammy if you just want to outplay your opponent and feel like a boss, but also struggle to actually get to master rank, because you actually have to be really good at this game to play Cammy. Chun-Li is kind of the same way, but she has a bit more things that she can rely on to kind of carry her. She has a specific stance that she can enter that gives her a bunch of extra moves. Let me swap the controls around. Where is Chun-Li? There's Chun-Li. And then I'll set Cammy to this. So she's kind of the same way. She has the fastest walk speed in the game. So if you're looking for a character that's really fast on the ground, she is the fastest. But she's a very complicated character, honestly. She has a lot of moves. This is her stance. She gets a bunch of extra buttons, like this. But she can kind of just gimmick the opponent a lot easier. It's easier to kind of fall back on certain moves to kind of win the game compared to Cammy. Not to say that she's gimmicky. She still has to work for her stuff. But she kind of has the same thing of she doesn't have a dive kick, but she has this, which beats out throws a lot of times. It also kind of stalls in the air. She has a wall jump, which is not that good. It's not great. It's very much punishable, but it's an option you have. So if you feel like you just want to have funny mobility options, she's very fun in that regard. She also has a lot of air combos as well. So let's see if I can get it. Yeah, so she can cancel this into a bunch of different moves. I don't know what the combos are. You'll have to look it up yourself. She also has a cancelable crouch medium kick. She different to Cammy, but she is actually a charge character. So she has charge moves on. So this is how you do her fireball. It's a hold back motion and then plus forward punch. There's obviously different variations depending on which punch button you use. But then she also has spinning bird kick. This is actually not her anti-air move. You would think because it's on the same one as Guile that it would be the same as Guile's, where it's an anti-air. But her, if you don't like the aspect of having to charge for an anti-air, she has Tencho kicks, which is a down-down kick input. And this is her anti-air option. It's also invincible on startup, so she has the privilege of having an invincible reversal DP type of input, or DP type of move. Let's see, what else could I talk about? Oh, how could I forget grapplers? How could I forget grapplers? Let's go with Zangief. And we'll go with Manon. Now, grapplers are very funny in this game. Grapplers are funny in general, but Zangief especially is pretty funny. He is the epitome of a grappler. His whole thing is you get close to the opponent and then you do... It's a bit hard to do on leverless, but if you do it fast enough, you could do it's literally a 360 input, so it's around, you just do a 360 input and then you get this massive SPD. I'm forgetting what it stands for, but basically you get this big ass grab, does a ton of damage, especially if you enhance it with OD, so you do 2 punches. Boom. It's a bit, just 100 more, but still big. People are fucking terrified of characters being, or grapplers being next to them. So Zangief is just really good at making you scared. He also has an air SPD, so he can do, this one is a bit easier to do, but it's essentially the same motion input, but you're doing a kick instead. So if I were to set Manon to jump, you can catch people jumping. Because basically what's happening here is the opponent is scared of getting grabbed, and the way you escape grabs in this game is you either jump or you backdash. Backdashing is a bit more risky, but since you're still you can still get hit, like you can still get hit by like jabs and stuff. But you can either jump or backdash to avoid a grab. Basically, what happens when you get that first hit, or when you go into a match, people are expecting, oh, this guy's gonna get up close and he's gonna SPD me, and in response, they'll start jumping, or they'll start like doing jump approaches and stuff because they don't want to get hit by that massive, 33% health move. So what'll happen is now you can go in the air and do SPD and get them back on the ground. Zangief is a very drive rush heavy character. He doesn't have a great drive rush. Like at this distance, it's kind of hard to get confirms. It's kind of hard to get combos off of like, You really do have to work to get into the opponent, into your preferred range. But if you do get, a drive rush low like this, you can do your down forward medium punch, which is specifically, it's a very specific move, but this is another button you should definitely use. Because opponents are going to start jumping a lot, this is your anti-air option. So as soon as they start jumping, you don't want to be the person to jump. It is obviously good for approaching, but a lot of people are expecting Zangiefs to approach with a jump since you get fat combos off of it. So you could do like... Or wait, no, that's not a good combo. Don't do that. That's a big combo. That's almost the same as an SPD. That's not even using like meter, right? So it is good to have jump in combos like that, but you don't want to rely on it. Your opponent is more scared of you than you are of them. Kind of think of it that way. Whenever you're in this, when you're in this range, this is your perfect range. You can threaten with SPD, and I believe actually if you do, there are slight differences to the light punch and medium punch and heavy punch versions. So the light punch does less damage, but it has more range. So you can see, I'm gonna do a save state here. Oh, ooh. What the fuck am I doing? Can you tell I'm on a levelless? Can you tell I don't play this character? Okay. So you can see here, this clearly hits, even though I'm doing a little dash up. If I do the heavy punch version, it has less range. People are also scared of him being up close because of his level 3. His level 3 is 2 360 inputs, so the easiest way to perform it, if you're having trouble doing it on the ground, which I feel like everyone would, you kind of have to mask it between another input. So kind of think of it like that. You're basically masking your 360 input behind like a button, so you could be like that. And this does a fuck ton of damage. This is the highest damage super in the game. So people are also scared of that. You can also do it doing a forward jump like this. That's also an easy way to input your level 3. Basically, your game plan is just to get into this range and then threaten with an SPD. This move. But obviously that's not going to work all the time, and it's probably only going to work a couple of times. So what you'll do instead is just hit your opponent with moves like this. You basically just want to threaten them with buttons instead after a while, because they're going to be jumping a lot. It's going to be hard to get your SPD, so best thing I would recommend is probably just using buttons like this, and then, you know, getting combos like... I'm trying to think of like a practical combo I could give for Zangief players. This move is really good. This is probably just a pretty basic combo, but forward heavy punch plus and then link it into down forward medium punch into your lariat. So you do like that. Let's see, what else can I, oh right, Zangief has a very big privilege button, which is his stand heavy punch like this. This move is, it has armor on it, so basically what that means is, if I were to, let's see, let me set Manon to do a wake up reversal, so I'll have her do a heavy kick, so she gets sweeped, and then I'm going to charge this. You can see it has armor, so one more time, and you get a fat 1600 damage, so it doesn't combo, but it's really good to just throw out like this. The only way to beat this move, I believe, is to either break the armor, so it the armor in this game takes like 2 hits. So what could I use for this? I don't think she has a move that hits twice like this. You can also use like supers. I think it's... Let's do this one. Sure. Oop. Why didn't she do it? Oh, I didn't. So you can see actually Manon's 236 OD 236 punch or kick, sorry, is it hits twice. So any move that'll hit twice will break the armor like this. So that's good to know. I believe also lows will intercept this type of move. Let's do medium kick. Yeah, so if it's a low, then it will be intercepted and you'll get punished for it. This is actually only 0 on on hit, so it's got kind of reset back to neutral. But that's not my point. My point is there are ways to beat this move, so just be careful of how much you're using it. It's just a good way to get your opponent to the other side of the map and then threaten with SPDs. And then if they start to jump, you threaten with the air SPD. Or, actually I would just recommend just sitting back and doing this move. 2 punches together. And then, if you want like a basic combo, forward heavy punch, down heavy medium punch, into lariat, like that. Very basic combo. He obviously has so many more moves, but you also kind of want to threaten with sweep. It's hard to punish this from afar. Oh wait, I'll block. Oh wait, actually this is -13. You might be able to punch this with a crouch heavy kick. Okay, so you can definitely punch that from that distance. Just labbing out, seeing what actually works. This is still punishable on more like this move. It's -9, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. This move is +3, and then uncharged it's -3. So you're still safe if you throw out this move. You can just kind of throw it out and still be safe. But this is not a Zangief guide. This is a general guide. So I'm going to go on to Manon. Manon is kind of the same way, except she has a badge system, or she has a badge mechanic. So what happens is at the top here, you can see she has little badges. She wants to get in close and kind of just get as many badges as possible. And what happens is her throws get a lot stronger, and they also have different animations, so you can tell which one you're getting hit by. When she has 5 medals, that is her kind of maximum amount, and then she starts to do a fuck ton of damage. And then also her level 3 does more damage, so let me do... By the way, here's another interesting thing you can do is character-specific settings. If you have a character that has like a resource or like a super or something that has a resource, then you could just activate those so that on every reset you automatically have it. Good to know. Let's see, this is her level 3. With 5 medals it does a ton of damage, so 4,600. That's quite a lot. But basically your game plan with Manon is just get into that same range as Zangief. Kind of threaten with lows. Let's do like... kind of do... She doesn't have a cancelable crouch medium kick. So you can do like drive rush in with a medium kick, and then let's see. So what you can do is your basic combo can probably be something like this. She has specifically a move that will combo. So here's a very good thing to know about this game. Actually, Smash as well, but you don't see it as commonly. If you are minus, or if you're 2+ on block, so say I do something like, I don't know, something safe on... I'm trying to think of a move that Manon has that is safe on block. Or like 2+ on block. But basically, if you're 2+, the any sort of grab will whiff. So you want to be you want to have enough, or you kind of want to have like no advantage, or you want to have at very most like be +5. So +5 is kind of like, or +3 I guess is good for normal throws. If you're +3, then you can threaten with a throw and they can't jab back. But you kind of don't want to be 2+. You don't want to be, so let's say something was +10, or let's see. Let's say something was +10, 11. Let's say it was +12, right? If I were to do a grab here, it would completely whiff just because of how the game is coded. And you can't get grabbed while you're while the opponent is minus, because that would mean you could just get. Actually, I can demonstrate it. Let's see. So I'm trying to find a way to demonstrate this, but say I get a punish counter like this, I cannot grab them. Trying to find a specific way I can. So you might think, yeah, so this is a good example. You might think like, oh, I can grab them here because I'm plus on block, but the way this game and fighting games are designed is just you cannot grab. There it worked because my opponent actually was no longer in recovery. So if you were to wait a little bit, you can see there, it's kind of hard to tell because it goes by so quickly. There, I just think I didn't have enough distance, but you just don't want to be 2+. It's kind of weird to say, but you don't want to be 2+ as a grappler. You still want to threaten with grab. There's also the same with other grapplers in this game would be Lily. She's a bit she's very badly designed. She just isn't a good character. She has a very boring gameplay style. I would not recommend playing Lily ever to anyone. Marisa is not really a grappler, but she has grappler-like abilities. So she has like this command grab, but her whole thing is just she's gonna armor the fuck out of you. She's gonna hit like a truck. She's gonna go over your low. She's gonna fucking kick you. I feel like going over more basic gameplay strategies though, so... oh right, Alex is also a very big grappler guy, so if you do have the DLC, you can go for, you know, go for Alex. He's probably the best grappler in this game. Like, he's the... maybe next to Zangief, he is like the best grappler in the game. So if you wanted to play that, if you wanted to have that sort of play style, then I would definitely recommend Alex or Zangief, either or. Let's see, Dulcim is weird. I don't really know how to explain his playstyle, but he's a very strange zoner. He relies on being at this range, but you also can't really throw out random like limbs, I guess, because these limbs actually do have a big ass hurt box. So if Zangief were to like push a button here to punish it, he definitely could whiff punish. He wouldn't get a combo obviously, but he would still get punish counter move. Dulcim is definitely going to be a character you have to either I put in a lot of work to understand and then I can teach someone to play this character, but I'd recommend probably just finding someone who is more experienced with not only teaching but playing Dulcim, because he's a very strange character. He's very floaty as well, as you can see. Trying to figure out what his buttons are. He also has a teleport. Trying to figure out what the teleport button is. But anyway, my point is there's a lot of characters in this game. Experiment. Look up character guides. Try character guides in the game. Let's see. What else could I talk about? I guess this video is mainly for my friends who are picking up Street Fighter 6, so if you are my friend and you are picking up the game, I can help you a lot more. I can help you on your character specifically. But that's kind of a basic rundown of the characters in this game. I'll quickly just go over like Shoto, Archetype Grappler, Zoner archetypes. Shotos would probably be Luke, let's see, Ryu, obviously, Ken, DJ kind of, but he has charge inputs, and he's not really a Shoto, but he plays kind of like a Shoto. Rashid kind of plays like a Shoto. Let's see, Akuma, Terry, Mai, Sagat. Those would be the characters I consider like a Shoto. They're very well-rounded. They have pretty good damage. And Mai is a top tier. So if you're playing Mai, good for you. Zoners, I would recommend, or I would consider, I guess, JP, Guile, Dulcim. Aki is sort of like, she's not really a zoner. She definitely wants to be in your face, but she has to like set up a little bit. So there's like, I guess, conditions to her zoning. But I wouldn't consider her like specifically a zoner. Ed is like probably mid-range poke kind of person. Also a lot of very intricate combos, very high skill ceiling. All right. Zoners, there's not really actually that many zoners in this game. Luckily, thankfully. Let's see, for grapplers, Manon, Lily, please do not play Lily. Zangief, Alex, and then there's also like mid-range type of characters. If you want to play like with punish type of characters, Jamie, Cammy, Chun-Li, um, let's see, Jury is also that type of character. She has a stock mechanic that enhances some of her special moves. So if you like kind of like very basic resource management, you can go for Jury. She's also very well-rounded. M. Bison is also kind of like a mid-range god. Very good character. Ed is also very good. Elena, I haven't seen much Elena, but I think she's decent. She's also kind of a mid-range type of character. Sea Viper, very technical character. I actually don't know what to think of her just yet. Ingrid is also still very new to me. Blanca is also that type of character that's kind of like mid-range. He has a lot of setup potential. He has a lot of, meaty setup. Level 2 is like just insane in this game. Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend just trying out every character if you can. If you have the DLC, or if you can get this DLC at a good price, if it's on discount, I would recommend doing it. But yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know, and I will try my best to explain to the best of my ability. Bye-bye.